What's up, world? You already know who it is. It's your favorite director, Maurice Paramore, back with another episode of Direct Your Success. Where you are in charge of your own destiny, all you got to do is get up and go get it. Back with my co host, E.Dot, the
Yeah,
sound man. We here.
yeah.
We in
What's
the
up?
building, man. Excited for another episode, man.
Absolutely. What's going on?
Everything is good, man. Let's talk about how your week going, man. How your week so far?
Week's going good, man. I'm having some good moments this week. Last week was kind of fucked up, but you know
Good
what I mean.
moments.
We having some good moments this week, man.
That's dope. That's good. That's a good thing to have. You know what I mean? Some good moments. I think my week has been solid so far. I'm in the lab right now, just editing. It's a process, you know.
Right.
It's super dope because when you film something, it's all isolated shots and all isolated scenes, and then you get back in the lab and you got to put it all together, and that's when you could finally start seeing the movie come together. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like a magical moment where you're like, damn. Even going back to the scenes and days that you almost forgot about. You know what I mean? Because I started this project back last summer, so it's super dope just to kind of see it all together and see everybody's hard work. And then while everybody goes off on vacation, I'm stuck in the lab putting it all together. But
Doing
it's
all
dope.
that crazy hard work. How
Yeah.
so how many like man hours are you putting toward this? Like you gotta let the people know how many man hours because this people don't. I don't think people understand what you do. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of work, you know. So I like to edit, at least just putting the scenes together. I like to do about 4 scenes a day.
So
That's
how
like
long can that take? So
that's a good 10-hour day.
mm,
You know what I mean? It's a good 10-hour day, just kind of assembling the project. And then, I do all my own coloring. I do my own audio mixing. I do my own ADR work, man. So, when you see that final product, it's truly my vision. You know what I'm saying?
wow.
But I just like to work that way. But yeah, 10-hour days, 4 scenes a day, 40 scenes for the movie. It's
All right.
just it's a grind, man, but I love it. Like, it's nothing better than seeing the project come together in the editing room is when you see what you have, good or bad,
Right.
in the lab, you know what I mean? So it's been pretty dope, man.
A lot of patience, a lot of
Yeah, you gotta have patience in this game.
yeah. So how did you acquire that? Like, though to become that because that's like you gotta take practice to keep doing something like that for that long and that long of a period and everything of that nature.
You gotta be able to see it through, man. Like that's the biggest thing for me is being able to, now we talked about it before, seeing a project go from, conception to completion. That's like a big thing for me. So I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if it's spending a lot of time alone, being an only child. I've always been able to sit by myself. I've been able to sit with my own thoughts, my own ideas, and see them through. Because outside of my cousin, shout out to my cousin Chanel, I spend a lot of time alone. So I had to kind of like, I developed that vision. Okay, this is an idea I have. What would it take to see it through? And you just spend countless hours just thinking of an idea through. Then I started doing music. Started writing my own music.
Right.
It's like you spend a lot of time. It's like a muscle. You got to work the muscle.
Absolutely. Yep.
A lot of people ask me like, how do you get all these projects done? How do you get all these films done? I spend a lot of time doing it. While a lot of people is out partying, while a lot of people is out, watching the games and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, I'm just working.
Right.
It's like that. It's like that Big Sean's line. I think he said, "F a vacation, I feel better at work."
Sacrifice.
But I
sacrifice.
always felt comfortable at work. While people they like to get off. When they get off work, they like, oh, now I'm good. It's weekends here, but the weekend I'm working. So me and my girlfriend was talking about how when I was working, back in the day, back when I used to work a job, I was working 2 jobs at the same time.
Yeah, I
Actually,
remember
think
that.
that's where
Matter of fact,
that's where I met Kim at.
we was working. We was both working at that job. So I remember
Yeah, so
we both had the 2 jobs.
I was working
Yeah.
at GSA, this warehouse, and I was
Right.
working at this bakery called Quality Bakery. And my schedule was crazy as heck. So 3 days a week I was working from 7 to 3.
Yeah.
I would have a break, then I would go to GSA from 4:15 to 12:45. I did that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursday I was able to come in my first job 2 hours later, which was 9 p.m. to 3, and then 4:15 to 12:45. So I was doing that. I was working, I think it was 76 hours a week. I think I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing like 76 hours a week. But That was Monday through Friday, but that was around the time when I started my production company, Dreamboy Vision.
Right.
So even though I was working 60, 70, 80 hours a week there, on the weekends, guess what I was
Right.
doing? I was shooting music videos
Right.
for other artists. I was working on music.
Right.
And then that became a whole nother business. And then I was doing film. So while people was, taking breaks for the weekend, I was working. I was doing more work. I've always felt comfortable doing more
Work.
work. You know when I feel uncomfortable?
When you're not working.
When I'm not working. I tell my girl all the time, the only way for me to not work is for me to, you got to take me out of the area. You have to take me to the
Physically
Bahamas.
out.
You got to take me to LA. You got to take me to Miami. That's the only way I feel comfortable. And even then, I'm still bringing my laptop because I'm like, I still
gotta
might
work.
have to tap into something.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Now, would you say I get that because like you're saying like kind of like your imagination is spontaneous, right? Like or you might get an idea right on the spot somewhere wherever you at, and you might just need to go right then and there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to like get a music machine. I had to get an MPC because I was like, yo, I was tired of waiting on the computer and all that stuff to load up and get. I need my stuff going right now because I might have the inspiration as soon as I wake up. Or, I might be walking somewhere. I'm like, yo, I got the inspiration. I need to get this out right now.
Yeah.
So definitely explain how.
That's a big thing, though.
How that go?
I think people have different processes. We all have different processes of how we work. But you hit it on the nose. Like you can't really find, like you can't set a date for inspiration.
Right.
Like I can't say, okay, Friday, yo, we gonna be ready to work. Like,
Yeah.
I can schedule some time in the studio, or I can schedule some time to write. But it's like, it's a lot of times when I don't really want to write when I schedule it. You know what I'm saying? Like the inspiration doesn't come like that. It hits you. It's like, it's like they say, like the lightning in a glass bottle. Like sometimes you look back at your old projects, you're like, man, how the hell did we do this project? It was so good. We were
All the
we
time.
were so in the zone.
All the
But
time.
you didn't plan for that to happen. You just got in your zone. So you have to be prepared for those moments. Like you said, you might have to keep a little notebook. You might have to keep a little recorder. Me, how I do it, I kind of force my inspiration. I pretty much like work every day. When I'm writing a script, I don't write. Like when I'm writing, when I decide I got an idea, okay, this is what I'm doing. I write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I pretty much write every day until the script's done. It usually takes me about 2 or 3 weeks to write a film. But I write until I'm done. And I write as long as it's working. If it doesn't work, I shut it down. That's how I work. A lot of people kind of force their work. They force their writing and stuff like that. I'm a very fast writer. And if I'm not making something fast, it's not working. And I shut it down. I don't force it. You know what I mean? That's how I was when I did music. When I did music, I would write 3 songs at a time. So I would put a beat CD on. I would have 3 beats set up. I would write the first verse. I'll write the first verse for the second song. I will write the first verse for the third song. That allowed me to be able to kind of like keep the energy flowing and stuff like that. Same way when I make beats. My whole point is, me personally, I create very fast. And if it's not working fast, it's not working.
Got you.
And I move on from there. I don't sit there when like people be like, yo, I was working on this song for 4 days. I was working on this beat for 8 days. I was working on this film. I wrote this film 6 months. I can't sit and write no film for no 6 months. It's gonna take me 3 weeks. And if it ain't, and if I ain't got half the script done by a week, week and a half, it's not working. I put it to the side and I come back to it. That's just how me. So you gotta kind of know your flow. You gotta know your process. Some people can sit with some. I know people that sit with stuff for days and days and days and days. Like me, it's not like that. If we go to a session right now, if it was talking about music, we go to the studio, we put on a beat. If I can't cook up nothing in 20 minutes, it ain't working. I move on to the next beat.
Next one.
I don't like try to force it. Like a lot of people try to force things. I know it's good when it's working.
Right.
If it's not working, it's probably not good.
So let me cut in there. Let me interject in there real quick. So so you've told me how much how fast and how spontaneous you are when it comes to just creating and letting putting stuff out and getting it together.
Right.
What is it like? Do you ever run into the thing they call writer's block? Do you ever run into those creative blocks? And if so, how do you get over those creative blocks?
I don't try to get over them.
Okay.
I know it ain't working. I shut it down.
I hear you.
I don't sit and try to figure out the blocks.
Now that's
just me.
That's interesting because like me, I have
down.
to live life a little bit then I could, you know what I'm saying? Some people are like me. They got to live life like if I get into that moment where I can't create and I can't come forth with what I'm trying to put together, I got to, take a walk, I got to take a ride, I got to, you know what I'm saying? I got to go do something for it
You
to
gotta
come out. I
restart the
might
engine.
it might be a conversation.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, it comes to me.
Spark it
You know
up.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. Like I think you gotta know again, you have to know your process.
Right.
And it may be, taking a walk, calling up the homies, watching an inspirational movie. That's me.
Right.
That's what jump started my spark this year. I redid my office, put a home theater in there, big TV and stuff like that. Cause I like to watch movies a certain way. Like I gotta be like right here in it. I gotta feel it. The screen gotta be big. The music and all that gotta be pumping. And for me, it took that inspiration. So I put on one of my favorite films that I've watched in the last 3 years, which is Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise. And my girl bought me this DVD, and at the time, I wasn't really watching much. I seen the movie like 3 times in the
Right.
theater because I just fell in love with it. But I got my home theater set up, and that was the first movie I played. I popped in Top Gun Maverick, and I was just sitting here. I mean, the music, the acting, the style of it. I was just like, damn, these are the type of films that I want to make. That's my ultimate goal, like to make those blockbuster joints that when you go to the theater, you leave and you just like, that was an experience.
Right.
So for me, that's what happened. I had to find it. And sometimes you have to find the inspiration. Like you kind of saying, like, it's two ways. Either the inspiration is going to find you or you have to go find it.
Right.
Right? Sometimes people just shut the engine down and they just wait for that bottle, that lightning to strike.
Yeah,
again.
waiting for God. I
You
call
know
that
what I
waiting
mean?
for God.
Me, I'm learning how to take breaks now. But when I'm ready to work, sometimes I'm not in that zone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not in that zone. But when I want to be in that zone, then I gotta go find it.
Right.
I gotta go I gotta go watch some movies that I really love. Go, listen to some directors that I really love. Listen to some music. Go take a walk. Whatever the case may be, and then hopefully that finds my inspiration. But again, when I come back to it, if it's working, it's working and it's working fast. And if not, then I know I gotta shut the engine down.
Right.
And that's what I did earlier this year.
Yeah,
I shut it down.
breaks are important, man. Because I think we as creative people, we kind of always do more than one thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
creative a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to you can become overloaded from just too much creativity.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like your brain shut down because you're just giving out too much creativity. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think you gotta take those breaks and just cool out and kind of get back to square one of where you at.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I remember we was talking to our brother Quest. A couple weeks ago.
That was a great conversation.
And that's what we was actually we was talking about, where sometimes you can have so much in your brain that you can't get it out right now.
Right.
It's just too much. It's too much that you're trying to get out, and it's actually just too much stored, and you can't figure out what to pull and when to pull it. And I was dealing with that. It was funny when he was talking about it because I was dealing with the same thing. I think I was working on like 3 projects at the same time. I'm working with these actors this day. Then 2 days later, I'm working with a whole nother set of actors. I'm working on this script. I mean, I was just overloaded. But it was what I was dealing with is I had so much in my head. I was trying to figure out how to get it out and get it out fast.
Understandable.
Got so many stories, so many characters. I'm like, I got to get it out here. I'm over here working with this. I'm writing over here. I'm tapping into AI. Me and my girl going over a storyline. Like, I mean, I had so much in my head that I couldn't keep in there because I don't have a lot of storage in my brain anymore.
Everybody,
I gotta find a way to document it ASAP or it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Kanye said, I probably forgot shit that's better than the stuff that you wrote down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
that's
I've
true.
lost
That's
crazy
true.
amount of stuff.
That's the
So,
creative's life like that.
I'm trying to get it out as fast as possible, and sometimes it becomes too much on a mental block, and you
Right.
just gotta say, you know what? Some stuff is gonna make it out. Some stuff I'm just gonna lose, and it just is what it is. I just charge it to the game. So when he was talking about, having so much in his head and he can't really get it out, like I felt that. So
Right.
like when you in that type of zone, like what do you do to get it all out of your head?
I mean, that feeling is like it's almost crazy how that feeling is. That feeling is like it's like almost everything trying to run at one time, and you all trying to, and it's all trying to come
Too
out at
much
that
computing.
one area, but it's like it's stuck. So usually what I do is I think I just take the thing I can connect with the most at that time. That's what I take care of first. Like I take care of that first. If it's music, all right, I go for that. If it's some type of art type of thing, then I'll go after that later. But if whatever I can connect with and get out a little bit at that time, at that moment, that's what I would go with first.
Yeah.
And then connect to everything else a little bit later. Cause my mind, I have to do it that way. Me personally, I have to do it that way.
Yeah.
Cause it's too much.
That's dope. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think we all, and as you grow as an artist, as a person, you're just the way you do things change, the way you see the world, the way you operate. All of these things are constantly changing. So sometimes your process changes as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it may be, I gotta go get a massage, or
Right.
I gotta go to one of them, clear water beaches.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. Back in the day, it might have been a little different. Might have just had to go to the club and just go let it out, wild out.
Right. Yeah.
Come back and be
Yeah.
like, all right,
Hey,
I'm
listen,
good.
we didn't
I
had
got
a
it
couple
out.
we done had a couple
You know
of those
what I'm
nights,
saying?
man. You
And
know
I
what I'm
think-
saying?
I think
Absolutely.
I think for me, I'm constantly trying to find like different ways to kind of express yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I think when growing up, I had so many outlets growing up. I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball. I was a hip hop artist, bowling, like fight, like whatever it was. Like I've had so many different outlets, right? And then as you get older, sometimes you put a lot of those outlets to the side, and you miss that aspect of your life or that expression, right? That outlet
Right.
of just being like,
That's what they are. Expressions.
yeah, like
It's an outlet. It's an outlet.
yeah, and
It's
then
an
you
outlet.
lose some of those, and then you realize that you have all of this stuff bottled up. Right.
Right.
You have all of this energy
Right.
just bottled up
Right.
that needs to come out. How are you as a man expressing yourself, getting that energy out outside of, sex? Like let's just be
Right.
real. Like what
Right.
are you
Yeah.
what else are you doing out there to like get that
That's why they
manly
hitting
like
you up,
aggressive
ladies.
energy?
That's why they hitting you up at certain times. I think all men have to have an area where they compete. You have to. It's that if you haven't done it in a while, like you said,
Yeah,
so it's
that
like
hunt, that hunt.
so it's just you gotta get back in rhythm. But I think a lot of times that's what's wrong. We gotta have an area of competition, sort of like, or somewhere where you're, like you said, expressing or an outlet. I think all men have to, just in general, not
Whatever
even
that is.
not even
It ain't gotta be an aggressive
Yeah,
outlet,
it
no.
ain't even gotta be men. Just in general, I think everybody has to have some type of outlet
They gotta have
to
their thing.
express themselves. You know what I'm saying? And usually what, us as creatives, everything is art to us. You know what I'm saying? I like watching boxing, so the art of boxing is just amazing to me. Like how a person can time a punch and dip and jab and all those things is like I see the expression of what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's just, you have to have that. That's part of my, I would say part of my breaks and stuff like that. I have to do something that maybe it might just be go to the gym and go running.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You have to have an
that's cool.
outlet.
And when I do that, it's like, I guess that's my other outlet, the gym.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I don't really enjoy the gym.
I don't think nobody
As
does.
much as I
It's
go
just-
to the gym, I don't really enjoy it. Like I know people that love the gym. I don't.
I think they
I
love
go
it because
often,
it
but I
what
don't like
it makes them feel like, though. You know what I mean?
I love that aspect of it.
Yeah, that's
I love when I leave the gym.
yeah.
I love that feeling, like accomplish anything you accomplish. It feels good, right? Get
Right.
endorphins go off and stuff like that. I love working on my body. I love everything that's associated with it. Usually when you do one good thing, it leads to other good things, right?
Right.
When you in the gym, it usually makes you drink more water. It makes you want to, eat more fruit. It makes you want to eat a little
Get more
better.
confidence about yourself. All
it's
that
like
thing. Yeah.
a win helps other wins. So
Right.
that's an amazing thing. But outlets, is an important thing, and I definitely want to talk more about that after this break. We gotta pay the bills, y'all.
What you Montel, nigga? Fuck out of here, nigga.
After everything I did to make you a superstar, that's how you betray me?
Something wrong with the food?
I want to do music again, and I don't mean as a hobby. It's been a dream of mine all of my life.
A dream that never came true?
What's this?
$5 million contract, and I want to put my best girl on the job.
Listen, boss, I'm already swamped.
I'll put somebody else on it. But I don't think you want to give away the best payday of your career.
I know you're probably wondering, how did she get herself in this situation?
As you may recall from our previous broadcast, the singer and songwriter Carmen has been charged with first-degree murder.
I ain't even gonna cap, bro. I need a favor. Got this chick, she's trying to get into the music industry, but she need a little help.
You flew all the way out here to LA to waste my time?
I had my life figured out, but now that you here, it's throwing me off track.
These beats, my engineering, it's all costs money. So you ain't got my money, you ain't got no music, partner.
Let's go show the world what you made of.
Don't know how I'm ever gonna sleep tonight, and now sitting in this chair doesn't feel right.
I got plans, Omari, and I'm sick and tired of putting everybody else's issues before my own.
Oh, so I'm the problem.
You mean to tell me that you willing to give up everything that you had?
Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Is there any people that you've come across, like, you know, that helped you more in your vision? You know, so maybe you don't have to go for 10 hours, you know, creating these films.
No.
And how important is that?
I think I'm so used to, you know, and I'm working on that, you know. I'm so used to working alone for the most part. You know, when I was a DJ, it was me DJing. Yeah. When it was me rapping, it was me rapping, and then, you know, you came along, we was doing music together. When it came to filmmaking and music videos and stuff like that, I like working alone for the most part. You know, I like to kind of just be in my own little world, my own little dungeon, doing what I do. But as you grow, you know, you can only do but so much on your own.
Right.
You know, and it starts to become very important to delegate. Like, okay, I could do this aspect. I can do it all, but to be able to get to the next level, you have to be able to
gotta have a team.
You know, have a team, expand, and you know, you can only do, like I said, you can only do but so much on your own. So, but then that's the whole thing. You know, you got to trust people. You know what I mean? You got to trust the people that you are looking to build with and do business with, and that's not always an easy thing to do. I think I struggle with that because I just know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm going to do. I know what to expect from myself. I can't. It's hard to kind of. It's like that whole X factor with other people. You just don't know that one thing that's just going to throw the whole thing off. You know, I've tried to do business with certain people in the past and partnerships and stuff like that, and a lot of times, you know, it just didn't work out. Now, I'm not against it. I'm always looking forward to networking. Right. I'm always looking to build with people, as long as it's the right people, and you know, we can kind of come together and, you know, make it all happen. So, but I think as you grow, you know, networking, the people you build with is super important. The reason why I have all my films on Tubi right now is because of a mentor that I was able to connect with from a person that was in my films. And, you know, he connected me with his distributor. He gave me a lot of game he didn't have to. You know, I didn't know this brother from a can of paint. So a lot of the success I'm having, granted, I had to get up and do the work. You know what I mean? He didn't make the films for me, but he gave me some resources I didn't have. Right. So without that networking and having a good relationship with my friend Chris, he wouldn't have, you know, connected me with somebody else. You know, so I think that's a really important thing, you know, like networking and your reputation and stuff like that. You know, that's just like a big thing. So how do you go about networking, building teams, or just even working with an artist or working with somebody in general? Like, is there certain things that you look out for, or you try to make sure it's on point? And you know,
For me, the number one thing would be like, how passionate are they about the thing that, the things that I like to do? Like, are they do they have the same passion for mixing music like I do? Do they have the same passion for finding that next beat that could be monumental or whatever?
Yeah.
I think that I start there, and then I usually work from that, and then down the line things will fall in line. Because if they passionate about it, you know what I'm saying, they want to fight every second to get to it or do it, or and when creatives get together that's like that, more ideas, more perspectives of an idea come. It's a lot of things that happens when you have a lot of creatives in a room, especially on the same page.
Right.
There's no telling what can happen. You know what I'm saying? What you could build with that, with those type of people together.
Yeah. So you like-minded
Yeah.
people
Very.
that you want to build with.
That have the same, even the work habits. Their work habits are similar. You know what I mean?
That's a big thing for me when I'm working with people. I don't like to hold anybody's hand.
Yeah.
I just
same
don't
here.
care to do that. Like,
Same here.
this is what we doing. You either riding with me, you either on the same page with me, or you even further ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really like looking back and waiting around. And
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of times I do a lot of work with myself. People be coming to my
Same
sets and they like, yo, why are you doing the camera work? You moving the lights around. You got the audio. You doing all of this.
Yeah.
Like, I've literally made whole films by myself.
Right.
Why? Because I know I can count on myself. I
Right.
can trust myself.
Right.
I just know what I can handle. And it's okay for me. It's not, people might think I'm outworking myself, but I'm right on schedule.
Right.
But so when I bring other people on, they gotta match that grind. They gotta match that intensity. They gotta match that passion, or I really just don't really care to be around you.
Right.
And if I do, it's only gonna be for a limited amount of time. Probably not gonna bring you on another project. Probably not gonna be looking forward to working with you in the future. I like people that are hungry, is just as hungry as me or more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Got more work ethic. Like, if I'm showing up on set at 7
It
o'clock,
makes you excited.
I love when people are there before
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
like,
it makes
"Damn,
it makes you
before me."
excited about the work.
Yeah.
Like that's what we here to do. We here like, yeah, I could just do stuff, but I'm excited about doing it. And if that person ain't excited like me, then what's the point?
It's not gonna work.
It's gonna come out whack. Everything
Yeah.
gonna come out corny.
I don't think it's too much better than having two or more people on the same page, equally passionate about one thing. It's an amazing thing. It's amazing to see what comes from that. That's why I think when you finally get people on the same page for a project, a business, a partnership, a relationship, whatever, that's one of the hardest things in this world to accomplish, is two people agreeing on the same thing at the same time
Right.
for the same reason.
Yeah.
That's very hard. So I don't take that for
Absolutely.
granted when those things happen. Like, when that energy is there, you got to really make the most out of it. Like, figure it out. Like, if you trying to be in a relationship with somebody, maybe the relationship, like, romantically ain't there, but if y'all have something there, y'all got to figure out, okay, maybe the relationship don't work, but maybe we can start a business together, or maybe we could do,
Right.
like,
I agree.
just two people vibing is a good thing.
Yes.
Make it work. Figure out something to make, that you could build from that.
Right.
So I don't take relationships lightly. I just try to figure out what is the thing. And you know what it is too? I think a lot of things, because as you get older, right? Everybody got their own world. Everybody got their own things going on. So it's hard. It's easy for people to disconnect, grow apart, and stuff like that. And it's not any malice or anything behind it. It's just people grow apart. And sometimes you can create a thing to keep the two together, right? You can create a thing. Maybe it's y'all. You find somebody to go to gym with. Maybe if y'all didn't go to gym together, you may never see this person again. You know what? Let's go to the gym together, or let's start a podcast together. Maybe it's a friend that you enjoy spending company around, but y'all got two different worlds and stuff like that. You know what? Let's find a day once a week that we can get together to have an excuse to chill with each other. You know what I'm saying? Or go out to brunch. One day a week or once a month. Like, figure out a thing. When you have good energy with somebody, figure out a thing, for one, to be able to keep y'all together, and also you just never know what that can turn into. Like that's kind of like where I'm at with it. You know what I mean?
Right. So earlier you mentioned how somebody helped you and gave you some game on how to move a little bit with the distribution and thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that would be like a mentor to you, right?
Absolutely.
So how important is mentorship in your networking? Finding somebody to help, give you some game.
Very important. Two things that need to happen when it comes to mentorship. You need to find a mentor, and you have to find a mentee. Right? You need to find
Difference?
somebody.
What's the
yeah?
difference?
So a mentor is somebody that gives you the game. A
Okay.
mentee is somebody that you give the game to.
Okay.
You know to say the best way to remember something that you was just taught is to go and teach somebody else.
Right.
So
I get that.
if somebody comes and tells me, this is how, anything, or a lot of times when I read books, I'm so excited to go tell somebody else. For
Right.
one, I love just giving the information out, but two, it helps me remember it.
Right.
Right? Because you're teaching it in a way that you understand it.
Right.
Right? It may be, you may be learning it, you may teach it a little different than the way the book is describing it, but when you get with somebody else, you're like, oh my God, this is what I learned from this book. This is how this goes down, blah, 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 blah. So, for one, you're retrieving the information, and two, you're paying it forward. I just learned this information, so this guy gave me all the information on the game from distribution to, the type of films, why, because up until I met this guy, I'll be honest, I didn't know any filmmakers at this time that made money independently. Like, I've been in the game for 10 years. I did all the film festivals. I know all the independent filmmakers in the game. I did not know, up until 2021, I didn't know not one person that actually made any money from their films.
Right.
And I connected with this guy, and he gave me so much game. And now when people reach out to me, they're like, yo, I got 6 projects on Tubi. When people reach out to me, what do? I give them the same game.
Right.
I don't hide the game from
Yeah,
them.
I can't stand.
You know what I'm saying? I don't hide the game. No, I give the
can't
game
hide
away.
The plug. Stop hiding the plug. Man.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So, me, I think it's important. Like I said, it's about paying it forward, but also you become somebody in the game who
direct the next generation of people
become
like
that
yourself.
Guy,
Yeah.
So you have to have a mentor because you can't know it all. You will not know it all.
Right.
And a mentor is going to give you insight that you may just not be able to see yourself, because sometimes we get in our own little world, right? We only see things the way we see things. And sometimes a mentor come in and say, you know what, you got it, but you missing this. You missing this aspect. It's just one thing that you can't see. So when this one thing that changed the game for me, I already had work ethic. That was always in me. When I played basketball, I carried a basketball around Chateau. When it became music, when I was in college and we was partying and all of that and running around chasing the girls, I did that aspect too. But when all my roommates were, and you could ask them, when all my roommates was going to party, I was in the studio.
Right.
When it came to starting my own company, when everybody was partying on the weekends, I was directing music videos and directing films. Right. So I've always been, I got sides of me. You know what I'm saying?
And
I got different sides of me. I always talk to my girl about it. I got good sides, I got dark sides, I got bad sides, I got all of that. But one thing that's always been consistent with me is my work ethic.
Right. I get that.
I forgot where I was going with that. I went on a little rant, but I got to a little soul. But he told me, he was like, yo, this is before I did Kodak. This is before I did Ambition. This is before I did a revamped Kill Club. This is before Carmen. This is before all of that. I just came out with Regrets, and Regrets was doing well. I'm talking to my mentor and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm trying to, figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do for my next project. I'm just kind of like going through the emotions. My coach used to always say this, when we was like having bad days or when we was effing up in the games, he'd be like, yo, man, you going through the emotions right now. Like, man up. Like, come on. So I'm trying to figure it out. And my mentor was like, he was like, yo, why aren't you making more films? And I'm like, what do you mean? I just did Regrets. You know, I was doing a short film every year for almost 8 years or whatever the case may be. He like, why are you not doing more films? I'm like, I'm working on a film, but I don't understand what you mean. He's like, yo, he was like, I'm a writer and director, but I don't do camera work. I don't do editing. He said, I write the scripts, I direct them, but I go find a cameraman, I go find an audio man, and then I have to go pay for an editor, right? So his films may be 50, 60,000 because he has to pay all his crew. He was like, yo, you write your own films, you direct your own films, you shoot your own films, you edit your own films. Why aren't you making more fucking films in a year?
Right.
And I said, holy shit, it's nothing stopping me from making more films.
Right.
2 weeks later, I wrote Kodak. 2 weeks after that, I shot Kodak. 2 weeks later, I edited Kodak. We put it out. Called my mentor. I was like, yo, I got another one. He was like, that's it?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta keep. Yeah,
what are you talking about? I just did a whole other
you
film
gotta keep
in 2
I
weeks.
get you.
He's like, that's it?
Yeah, you gotta
He's
keep
like,
going.
I gotta go raise money for my
Right,
next film.
right.
He's like, where's your next film at? And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
The work is not done. The job is not done. Like Kobe said, the job is not done. So what I did, 2 weeks later, I wrote Ambition. 2 weeks after that, we were shooting Ambition. I was like, yo, mentor, I got another joint. He was like, that's it?
Right. Right.
Changed my whole world.
Right.
I didn't realize the gift that I had that others didn't have. A lot of times we complain about not having enough resources, not having enough money, not having enough XYZ. He goes looks for the money, but what he doesn't do is the thing that I do very well.
Right.
I have my own equipment. I bought all my own equipment.
Right.
I recently had just bought the red, I think maybe after that.
Right.
So the point was, and my girl helped me out with that. Shout out to her. Super dope, you know what I mean? First red camera. My favorite camera in the world. But what happened is he opened up a gift that I didn't realize, or a resource that I didn't realize that I had was my own resource.
Right.
The best resource I had was the talent that God gave me to be able to write, direct, film, and edit, all of this stuff.
Now,
People come on my films, and again, they can't believe that I'm actually shooting whole films by myself. I've been on sets where somebody might have 10 crew
People,
members. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, I'm thinking that I needed more money. I'm like, yo, man, man, if I only had $10,000, if I had $20,000, I could make more films.
Right.
But I had all the resources right there.
Yeah.
But it took him saying that because I didn't realize it, that I had everything that I needed right here.
Right. So it goes back to what I said earlier, that having that other perspective of watching somebody else that does what you do, they love it as well, however they do it, and they get it done. They seeing what you doing, and they say, oh, yo, you could be doing this. They're giving you some more game to what you already developed by yourself, and it gave you an angle that you never even really looked at before. So that's I would say that's pretty damn near important.
It is,
you know,
because again, it's things that you can't see.
Right.
You know, you think, we got to
all from networking.
We got too many men in general have too many egos a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we talked about this before, but you end up getting in your own way. I think people in general just get in their own freaking way, and people think that they know it all and this is the only way. One thing I learned about being in my relationship is that it's so many different perspectives, and you have to be open to seeing all different perspectives. And a lot of times we can only see our own perspective. So when you working and stuff like that, you think the only way I can get this done is if I have more money. And then somebody comes in and tell me, yo, you don't even need the money right now. You already, the resources is right here.
Right.
But it took a mentor, it took somebody from the outside
Right.
that has no dog in the fight.
Right.
To say, yo, you have everything that you need right now. That might change in the future.
Right.
The money that might be the thing that you need, or you might need extra crew.
Right.
But right now, you have everything that you need. You're the problem.
Right. Right.
You're the problem, and most people don't want to accept that they're the freaking problem.
Right.
And that was a moment for me. I was like, damn, I'm thinking I'm doing good, but I needed this and that. He said, he basically was like, you're the problem because you have everything in front of you and you're not utilizing it. Sometimes we want God to give us this, but he gave us this that's just as good or even equivalent to that. But we don't need that right now. We need this right here. This is what's going to get us to the next level, and then that next thing gonna happen. So, yeah, mentors. I'm telling you, find a mentor, and then bring along a mentee. You know, like if, like an intern or something like that. Because again, all the information that your mentor is giving you, you need to turn around and you got to give it to somebody else. Again, for one, because it's going to be a way for you to memorize this stuff, and two, it's a way to pay it forward. And then what you're going to do, you're going to tell your mentee to do the same thing. I'm your mentor. Now, mentee, I need you to go to find somebody, and you need to teach the same game that I'm giving to you to somebody else. And that's how we keep the chain going.
Right.
The problem is people want to cut off the links. They only want to keep the information. They don't want to give
Challenges.
it out.
You know, I call them like little mental challenges. You know, because like you said, the mentee and the mentor, right? The mentor going to challenge you certain ways. The mentee going to challenge you certain ways.
Yeah.
And then it keeps it keeps that whole system of creative thought going.
Absolutely.
You know
And the
what I mean?
mentee is just a natural thing. Like when you have a coach or something like that, or a big brother, you want to beat that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you in karate or whatever the case may be, and your master, blah blah blah, eventually you want to beat the master.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to challenge the master in a way that most won't, because one, you know a lot of their weaknesses, right? Their strengths and all of that, because you with them every day. So you're going to challenge them on a level that they didn't. They thought they could drop their guard on this.
Yeah.
So your mentee comes in, and you thinking you could drop your guard. The mentee gonna get in your ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Pause. Gonna get on your ass.
Right.
Pause. But no, you know, it's like it just, again, the mentee is also going to give you another perspective of things that you haven't seen as well. For one, you're gonna talk to and you're gonna coach and game a mentee different than you might even just coach your overall class. Think about if you had a teacher and you had a class. If you was a teacher and you had a whole class, 20 students, you might teach the whole class a certain way. But then you're going to have that one student that comes after class and say, you know what, I got that, I didn't get this. Can you give me a couple hours to give me a little more game on that? And you're going to start coaching that mentee totally different than you coach the whole class.
Right.
And then it's going to be a whole nother push and pulling and all of that stuff. And now you're going to have to be in your game. You thought you could just give everybody the 20 just a generic way.
Right.
But now you got that mentor, that one-on-one, and it's got to be a certain way.
Right.
So I think that keeps you sharp. You know what I mean? I haven't had an internship in a while, but I remember the last intern that I had. It was actually a lot of pressure. You think that they're just trying to get, you know, whatever they can out of you, and then some people, you just thinking, okay, well, they're here, you know, you get in the labor or whatever the case may be. How can I use them? But they actually keep you sharp because they're coming there every day to learn something. Yeah. They're not coming there to be at. So you got to really be on your job, and you like, oh man, I don't know what they're gonna ask me today. I got to make sure I got work for them. It keeps you on your job. So the point is, keep mentees around and go find a mentor. You do not know it all. You do not have all the game. You do not have all the answers. Go find somebody to get the game from. Right. That's the problem with a lot of people now. They think they know it all and they don't want to get any game and no insight from people. And it's like, no, I have mentors. I have physical mentors. I have virtual mentors. I have people that I just follow online. Like, I'm always trying to get the game from somebody.
I have to challenge you a little bit on the ego part, right? You said that, you know, people don't know it all. They, you know, but at one point, would you say that me and you at one point we was young and we felt we had the answers? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel, what point did you arrive and you said, look, I don't got all the answers?
I've never been that kid. I've never been that adult.
Okay.
And I think it's probably because I grew up around older people.
Right.
I grew up, you know, even my mom, she had me at 20, you know, she was still, you know, partying and stuff like that. I had my grandparents,
right.
You know. So a lot of times my grandparents had me, you know, me and my cousin Chanel running around in the streets and stuff like that. So I've always been around. It started there. Then when I moved to Chateau, you know, the great thing about like an apartment complex, at least back then, you had different generations all kind of like co-mingling in the same like space. So, you know, I might have my friends, but then they might have brothers that's 4 years older,
Right.
and then might have an uncle that's five years older than them, right? So
Right.
we getting game. I'm getting game from my peers. Then I'm getting game from the older brothers. Then I'm getting game from the uncles or the grandpops and all that stuff that was in the house. So I've always been a person who loves to listen and soak up game. I don't know where it came from. I think it just came from me being around older people, and I'm still like this to this
I
day.
agree.
So and that's why I love the younger generation that love to listen. I just love the fact that it's just too much information out there. You can't know it all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think I've been blessed enough to be around older people that I love to sit and listen. Plus, I've been an only child. A cancer. I've always been in a person that could just sit in a room and just listen to people talk and just soak up all the game and stuff like that.
Right.
So I've never been a person. I know I probably had moments, when I'm snapping on people and I'm like, about thinking everything.
Right.
I have those moments. I probably have a lot more now than I probably did in the past. But no, I've always been fond of information,
Right.
and I've always respected my elders, and I've always respected people that were older than me because I realized they've been here longer than me. They have more game. You know what I mean? I might be well versed on certain things, but it's just I don't know everything. You know what I mean? So I would always encourage people to just seek out mentors because, again, you just don't know it all. You know what I mean?
Seek out somebody that can kick your ass in what you know, or what you think you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
and this is what I learned. People are willing to give out game to the people who are
All
willing
day.
to listen.
All day. Yes.
And the
I agree.
problem with a lot of the newer generation is that same thing where a lot of people think that they know where they know everything. So a lot of people aren't being mentors because they don't have anybody to talk to that are willing to listen. And that's the difference. Somebody that's willing to sit and listen and not talk over you. I'll give you game all day. But if you sitting here acting like you already have all the game and you know everything, well, what the hell am I doing here for? What do I
Right.
got to tell you anything for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just always been my thing. Like I always love to listen to people that know what they're talking about, or people that's well versed in their their industries or just a topic and stuff like that. So I think the people just need to go follow and find mentors. And if you don't have any around, go on the internet and find some. Go out of town. And a good mentor is somebody that is doing what you want to do. You need to find people that are doing better than you. The problem is a lot of people don't want to associate with people that are doing better than them. They're afraid. They're jealous. You know what I'm saying? They're jealous, you know what I mean? And I've never been a jealous person, you know what I mean? Like I've always admired people that are doing better than me. I've always admired people that can do things that I cannot do. I've always admired somebody that can play the piano. I can't play the piano. I can get on there and throw through a few chords together, but I can't do it. So I'm admired by that. So if I'm going to talk to somebody that's doing something that I can't do, I am a student. I don't care how old I am. 40-year-old man, I am a student. I'm not going to sit here and be trying to tell you how to play the damn piano, and you the one that know how to play the piano. If I want to become a millionaire, I'm going to go talk to an actual millionaire. I'm going to find I'm going to find a millionaire mentor, not somebody that's talking about being a mentor, but they ain't never have $1 million.
Right.
Like that doesn't even make any sense. And then when I'm getting the game from the millionaire, guess what I'm going to do?
Going back.
I'm going to come back and I'm going to teach somebody else how to do the same thing.
Okay.
So
I think we're going to end it on that note.
yeah, there you go.
So anything else left that you have to say to, the people that's watching?
Find a mentor.
Yeah.
Find a
mentor.
mentee.
Find somebody
Like I
to kick
said,
your
the
ass.
best way to remember information that you was just taught or you just learned is to go and teach somebody else to do it. So if you reading a good book and you just got a gym, go and take somebody else. If you just learn how to fix a car, go teach somebody else. If you just got some really good information in this book, go teach somebody else. And this way you will be able to remember the information and you will be paying it forward. And that's how you direct your success. You direct your own success and then you help somebody else direct their own success. So that's pretty much all I got today. Anything else you want to close them out with? Because I'm about to get up out of here.
Nah, nothing, man. Love yourself. That's it. Let's go.
Oh, you J. Cole now.
Man, love yourself, man. That's it, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Love
You heard
yourself.
it first.
and
Love
Get
yourself.
money.
J. Cole, E.Dot is in the building.
Take care of your family.
Okay. And take care of yourself. Go in the gym tomorrow. If you haven't been to the gym in 6 months, go tomorrow.
Yeah.
We out.
We out.
Nah, it's been a minute, but we out.